So, since my last video, my pulled pork video was such a success, and I got a lot of good feedback on it, and a lot of people, commenting, and it seemed to like it, and a few people actually, messaged me and said it was really good, and they did it themselves. So this time I decided to go ahead and do some ribs, pork loin back ribs, to be specific. Hopefully, I have enough time. It takes about 6 hours to do these. I have about that, so we'll see. I'm going to do 3. There are 3 here in the package that you get from good old Costco. If you're not buying your meat from Costco, you're throwing your money away. You're not getting as good quality. I'm going to use a rub here. It's called Rub with Love. It's from a local company here in Seattle. They're down there by the famous Pike Market. I'm going to use a smoky barbecue rub this time. Give it a little bit of heat. It's got some, I want to say, let's see, smoked paprika, dried ancho chili peppers, a bunch of good stuff in there that should give it some good flavor. I'm going to be putting this on, let's get that to focus. I'm going to be putting this on immediately before I put them into the Traeger. I've been asked before if putting the rub on, wrapping them up, putting them in the fridge overnight makes any difference, and honestly I've found no difference whatsoever. Putting on the rub before, and leaving it overnight, or putting it on just before I put it inside the Traeger. Another question I get all the time is, what thermometer am I using? I wish I could tell you what the brand is on this. There is literally no name on it. It's just a simple wireless thermometer that I got from Lowe's. They had it there. It was on sale, I think, for like 15 bucks. But it's got all kinds of different beef, lamb, I think that was beef, pork. So hamburger before that, pork, chicken. Actually, that's chicken. Turkey was before that. So there's all kinds of different. I can't even tell what that one is. So let me see. Hold on. That is fish. That looks like a dead fish. So I'll manually set it. I won't even use the presets on this. I'll manually set it to the temp that I want. Shove the probe into the fattest, meatiest portion down here, and let it go. The way I'll be cooking it, it probably won't even be needing that, because it'll probably go past the temp that I want, that I set it to. So let me get it all prepped and ready to put into the Traeger. Alright, so now we're outside, and I have them all prepped, and I got the rub on there. Now if you're asking how much rub I used, that little container, I used the entire thing. I did it top and bottom, so just sprinkle it on there, pat it on. You don't have to rub it in. It's going to sit in here for at least 3 hours, and we got a good smoke. It was sitting at exactly 180, but now we're 171. So just because I have the door open, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll place them in. And if you're wondering how much a Traeger Junior holds, this is 3 whole fat racks of ribs, and it will fit in there just fine. And I'm actually going to alternate these, get them in there, and get them. You can even separate them a little bit and give them some room between. So there it is, 3 entire racks. I know a 12-pound turkey will fit on this thing. So alright, we'll go ahead and get this closed up, and this is going to sit for 3 hours, and then we'll be back. So it's 3 hours later. I've had the ribs in here on smoke the whole time, and they've taken on a good color. They've definitely pulled a lot of the smoke in. They've got a nice good skin. I'm going to go ahead and pull these off, get them onto a pan, and then we'll get them inside. So now I have the ribs inside, And I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can because I don't want to bring the internal temperature of them down too much. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take each rack and I'm going to place them in a large sheet of heavy duty foil. And then I'm going to take and top it with some brown sugar. This is golden brown sugar. And then for my secret, at least for my ribs, they tend to dry out a little bit in the end, but I take a can of Dr. Pepper. That's it. And I'll put some brown sugar on top of each one. We'll do one right here so I can get this on here, give you guys an idea. And then I'll just take the brown sugar here, and I'm going to liberally, cover the rack with brown sugar. And I like them really sweet. And this is really going to sweeten that up nicely. Okay. And then, see if I can do this with one hand. I'll just pull up the sides of this, kind of make a little tray. It's a little hard to do with one hand, but I should have enlisted the help of a camera person, but we'll do this. And then, not a ton, I just put a little bit, like this one can will go for all three, and just pour that in there. That looks good. Get that all around, and then I'll quite literally just cover it up. Make sure it doesn't leak out the ends or the sides. And this doesn't have to be super tight. And there's one. And that's just going to go right on back onto the Traeger just like this. And I definitely recommend heavy duty foil because the bones will poke through the foil if you don't. And then you just defeat the purpose of putting anything in there because it'll just drain out into the pan. So I'll get the other two taken care of, and then we'll get them back out to the Traeger. Alright, here we are back out at the Traeger. I've got them all covered up with foil, brown sugar, Dr. Pepper. You might think it's funny, but believe me, you try it, you will definitely not go back to doing it any other way. I'm going to go ahead and throw them back on here. There we go. And that one right there. So I obviously sprung a leak on the last one, so I had to rewrap one of them, but they're in good shape right now. So we're going to put it back on there. I'm going to throw the lid back down. The whole time I've had it on smoke, and it's pretty much sat at around 170, about 170, 175. And now we're going to go ahead and crank it up to 225, and we're going to leave these in for 2 more hours. So we'll give them 2 hours, and we'll be back. Okay, so it's been 2 hours later now, and I just pulled these off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these out of the foil now, and you want to be careful because it's going to be very hot. It's going to steam off once you open them. You can see the steam pouring out of there. And these, honestly, I mean, you could right now cut them up, serve them out. I personally, I mean, you can see the meat is just peeling away from there. And it's definitely cooked through. I personally, I'm going to go one step further. I'm going to take all these out, set them back on the tray here. And then I'm going to put a barbecue sauce over it. Not a lot, just a little bit. And then I'm going to throw it back onto the Traeger for 1 more hour. What that's going to do, you can see that's pulling away from the bone there. It's going to just set it up. It's going to give it a nice, crispy outside texture, while the inside is going to still be super, super, super moist. And it's just going to fall apart. So this I'm going to have to use 2 hands for. Otherwise I'm going to have a mass of ribs falling all over the place. So I'm going to stop the video here, and once I have them out and the sauce on and back in the Traeger, I'll go ahead and start it back up. Alright, like I said, Not a lot of sauce on there, just a thin layer. Whatever sauce you use doesn't really matter. Your personal preference. I make my own, and I will tell you that the sauce, that the brown sugar and the Dr. Pepper is definitely part of that sauce that I make for these. So it's on there from beginning to end almost. So it's super delicious. Dr. Pepper does 30-something flavors. It really does something. So I'm going to put these on here. I'm going to leave them for 1 more hour. I'm actually coming back in 30 minutes and put another thin layer on there. I don't like them really saucy, but you know, it definitely has dropped because I did have the door open a little too much. But I am going to leave it at 225 and come back in 30 minutes, put another thin layer on, and then 30 minutes later I'll go ahead and pull them out. Alright, so got them out of the Traeger. They're all done, ready to go. Sorry about the lighting here. My kitchen light's not the greatest. But as you can see, I did have one that came apart, and it just literally falls. I could probably just pull the bone out right now. And yep, there we go. That is perfect. So you almost can't eat these off the bone because they just completely fall off. But get one of these over here, and we'll get this again. Sorry about the light here, but cut between each rib there, and there we go. My knife's not. Oh, helps when you don't cut in the bone. But alright, that is absolutely delicious. I mean, it just falls right off. It doesn't take any effort to take this off and eat it. So I'm gonna put these on a plate, put a little bit of sauce on there, eat them up. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. I'm hopefully going to put up a bunch more videos in the future. So I'm going to at least do a turkey one in the next couple months. So be sure to check out my pulled pork video, and hopefully in a month or two I'll have a video for turkey. All right, thank you.